morning, everybody. Another day, another set of results from Sunday Creek and the Southern Cross team. And Sunday Creek, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, delivers again. This time with two very large step outs. For the first time, we're seeing significant mineralisation under Golden Dyke, and the hole that showed it was 470 metres below the old workings. 470 metres, almost half a kilometre below the old workings that were 180 metres below surface. We saw some very good grades, up to 44 grams over 40 centimetres. There was at least 4 assays that went above 10 grams, but most impressively was the way that this has been drilled. These holes were drilled. They weren't actually intended to hit a lot of mineralisation because they were drilled sub-parallel to the mineralised vein sets. So what do I mean by that? Why do we drill not to hit? Well, we drill to hit sometimes for understanding. In this case, as you all know, we have the rails of the ladder which run east-west. That's the mineralized host, the structural host that hosts all the gold. We know when we're coming into it, we know when we're going out of it. It's up to from 50 to 200 meters wide, and that goes for 10 kilometers along the strike. And we also know we've got parallel zones that are parallel ladders, if you like. But in this case, we're talking about a 1.2 kilometer section between Christina and Apollo. Golden Dyke, which we drilled here, is in the middle of that field. We need to know where the rails of the ladder are. Why is that? Because within the rails of the ladder are all the mineralized vein sets, like the rungs of a ladder. So they across the rails at a very high angle. So what we do, and the way we drill this deposit, is to drill basically from the north to the south, say northeast to the southwest, to cross the rails of that ladder. That way we know where the host is in 3 dimensions as it goes into the ground, because it's not planar. It dips steeply to the north, but we know it rolls around a little bit. When we get those control holes in, then we can drill within that ladder, if you like, parallel to the rails, but at a high angle to the veins, which is a very, very efficient mechanism and the most reasonable at the highest angle to the vein sets to drill this deposit. So these holes were 2 control holes, we call them, from the north to the south, basically. And they drill sub-parallel to the vein sets. They cross a couple sometimes, but generally their main aim is to define that host position. Well, at least with one of these 2 holes, they hit quite a lot of gold, and that were the results I spoke to just earlier. So we know there's a lot of gold down there. We know there's high-grade gold. We know it's half a kilometre beneath the old workings, and now we know where that host is. You don't have to ping too many holes in that 3-dimensional space to start to get an idea where that sits, and then that allows us to come and drill from the east to the west, or the west to the east, parallel to the rails. And that's what we've done. We've got 3 holes now under Golden Dyke. Results are pending, and we're planning a lot more holes under there now that we start to see the results that we have today with 125 and 126, the results we've talked about. So it's a very good result. This is a big step out. It's starting to shape up very nicely beside Rising Sun, which has been an amazing part of the system that we've drilled over the last 6 to 12 months. And now we're starting to see the little inklings of another body next to it with some very good grades and going to depth. So cumulatively now we've reported 130 holes for about 58 kilometres of drilling. There's lots of holes in the lab. 16 drill holes are currently being processed and analysed, and 5 holes with those 5 rigs drilling are in progress as we speak. So we're drilling it at Christina, we're drilling under Golden Dyke, as we've talked about here. We're drilling at Rising Sun. We've got the Navi holes there, drilling some of the very high grades, and then we're also drilling across at Apollo. So drill rigs spinning everywhere, results coming in all over the place, and demonstrating that we're expanding the exploration target. We're expanding that exploration target we put out in January by a large margin, especially with these holes. So some great results. Keep your eyes on the news flow. There's a hell of a lot more coming to the table. Stay tuned.